Hello there folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel, place where I discuss different topics about spirituality, introspection and game analysis mainly. Today I'm at work and well I decided to drop another little video, this time a video about suffering and well slightly about problems in the world. Now, what technically is a problem? Now, in many situations, a problem is something that is unconsciously created by us, by people, and we end up in a victimhood where we think that no, it isn't us that we are creating it. It is technically, the surrounding, okay, or the the phenomena that happen, right? The circumstances are against us, right? Because it's much easier to come up with such premises than simply take up responsibility for what you're doing and well technically end up actually doing something. So with so little knowledge nowadays that we have, about everything, like anything that can influence us, like even I heard even the way we fold things around us that can, clothes, papers, and the such can attract positive or less positive energies around us, and the way we eat, the way we think, our emotions, right, the flow of them, and so many of these things, they have such a great impact on us and we don't even know, and in time they can cause problems because the more we expose ourselves to negativity, especially with the media and the such, well, that's kind of a problem because well we end up infecting ourselves with all this negativity, which ultimately it means that we're gonna be predisposed to some different problems and well breakdowns because there is only so much that the body can hold, and well we also think that there is only so much that we can hold mentally, psychologically, and the such, okay, and all these will instill suffering because suffering is any situation in which you are doing that which you shouldn't, or in which you are not doing what you should, right? Because, well, these are perfect synonyms. When you choose not to do anything, you're technically doing something because you chose to do nothing. Okay, this is, well, it kind of needs for some people, or maybe probably most, it needs to come as a realization because a realization is something that you discover, okay, that you stand, okay, you no longer understand, okay, it's not called understand for nothing, it's called so because you're standing under the point, you're not standing on the point, right? It's only making logical sense to the mind when you understand it. That's why it's called understanding. And a realization is when it becomes not necessarily a reality for you, but when it becomes better, okay, when it becomes more, okay, than just a logical thought, when it becomes your own reality in a way, because now it is true, it is fully true for you that it is so, right? You go beyond the just understanding of that. So people in the world are affected by a lot of suffering, especially thanks to the Kant virus. And well, the question that comes is very simple. Why so much suffering? Well, considering how many people still prefer being ignorant, because, well, ignorance provides a great sense of security and safety because you're disconnected from emotions. So you're not suffering, you're feeling well, and also a fear of doing something that would make your life better because, well, comfort zone is kind of the greatest killer of consciousness. The point about all these is, well, through all this suffering, people are kind of, always focusing and choosing, unfortunately, to focus on things that don't serve them, right? Like many people now worry about, market collapse, or they worry about, the billionaires becoming even richer, because it is obvious many billionaires will become even richer because any disease, any lockdown situation, any such situation simply is something that will make people profit. Okay, when you have a lot of resources, it's much easier for you to invest them in different directions, right? And everyone here has their own agenda, right? As a race, we are above all other animals, but we still live life in a sense of race, okay, which causes racism, okay. Racism is just a silly sense of being in a race against others, okay. It doesn't concern the aspect that we believe, like, skin color, right? Because in 75 there was said to be Blumenbach who invented the idea of races, right? The black race, the white race, and skin colors. This is just another sense of division and another sense of uh, distraction, because people nowadays will be calling for a lot of distractions, because distractions provide people with a fair sense of security, which is kind of not good for your mind, because ultimately you want to face your problems head on, not just run away from them, because ignorance means accepting something but without any discernment. Okay, so when you ignore things, when you ignore everything, that's why you have so many problems, because you're technically accepting everything without any discernment. Okay, you are hating, or you're ignoring your spouse, but they're always in your head. You're ignoring the people who are angering you, who are exploiting you, but they're always in your head, right? That's how ignorance works. That's why ignorance is not the best thing, and people are kind of waking up. Now, should people actually worry about billionaires and the such? Well, first of all, they don't worry about you, and first of all, you should actually solve your own problems instead of just sitting idle and not doing anything and just preferring to think about others. Okay, first of all, always solve your own problems and then think about others, because others may probably have more ways of dealing with their problems than you. And in the end, all that has to happen is that people must finally set aside their differences and unite, because this is no longer a pandemic. It's just a pandemic in which there are certain agendas to be carried out, right? The world is kept on poverty, just like in World War II. Russia, when the Soviet Union was attacked, it was also a war of hungering and starving the population, right? And this is what happens nowadays. So many, all the countries, they have made barricades, right? They disallow things from happening, and so on and so forth. So when so many of these ideas happen, and when there's so much that happens at the same time, it's obvious that people will be seeking all sorts of comfort. But in the face of suffering, okay, and this is utter suffering, because businesses are failing, everything is collapsing, and the old society is kind of finally getting ruined. Of course, it will take some time though, but we're in this boat together and the boat is sinking. The point about this is it has to be abandoned, okay? And when an empire falls, everyone is as busy, taking as many wisdom, because that's how suffering exists, right? That's how apathic people are, right? Because, if they feel they are going down, all they want to do is still cling to the old ways and pick wisdom as many as possible, right? It's a war mentality. If I go down, at least I take as many with me, right? So the point is, people have to realize that money is useless, okay? Once you realize as a population that money is useless, okay, the 1% will simply not have anything to do with it, right? Like we are the ones, right? The population are the ones who are creating the websites and literally everything that corporations run on. You can simply realize that money is useless, and you can say, okay, you take all the money and do whatever you want with it, okay? We are not gonna simply listen to this anymore, because we are the police, we are the army, we are literally everything. We don't need, corporations and laws created by ignorant people, right, to rule us. Because in the face of suffering, if you are not capable of setting aside differences, right, and ideas and identifications with skin color and all sorts of things that create distractions and also division between people, if you're not capable of setting yourself aside from these factors, in the face of suffering, you're already doomed in a way. So it doesn't matter how much you struggle financially, emotionally, and such. If you just don't do this, you're gonna be doomed anyways, because you're gonna be faced with all these fears, right? Division only appears because of fear, right? You fear that there is something better than you. You fear that black people are better than you, or white people, or I don't know, people who listen to a better band, they might be better than you, or there is always this sense of race. Okay, you're stupidly racing against other things instead of, solving your own problems. Okay, you have so many things to deal with nowadays, right? Traumas from the past, and people finally revealing their true selves. And well, that's not the best thing, because when people finally show their true selves to most other people, it's gonna be, unbearable probably, because well, they've been dreaming a beautiful dream in which they were probably abused, but it felt good. It wasn't a problem, right? Because they were always doubting it, right? But nowadays you're faced with reality, and if you keep doubting the reality that you see, well, then you definitely have some trust issues, right? So finding out where these problems within you stem from, and also realizing that the world is only and finally it's reacting far more to our own problems, well, you kind of have to realize, okay, every thought that you create, every idea that you think of, has a certain influence at a certain level on the planet. Think about now how many people manifest only fear, and the mass media, right? The Medea, the ancient Greek goddess of manipulation, right, and cunningness, right? The Medea, or the media, whatever you want to call it, right, pumping only fear. Just ask yourself why this happens, right? Because through fear you can easily be controlled. Wi-Fi and the such have a vibration of, the lack of self-control. It's a similar vibration to that. So yes, all this being said, hopefully this video is just another one that serves as an eye-opener. I'm not interested in promoting stuff that people would call necessarily as constipational theories. And well, that is also another sense of ignorance, because well, when you don't realize what's happening in the world and you still cling to different things that television tells you, which tells lights to your vision, right? That's why it's called television, because it tells you a vision, but it's not necessarily the vision that you may need, right? So all this being said, hopefully this video helped as a wake up point. You're loved and appreciated. Take care. Ferenc on board, signing out.